And now we're going to introduce Jaye Lene Long, my guest for this show, and I'm so glad to have Jaye Lene with us today. Thank you for being here to talk about Hope Fest.
Oh, thank you. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Well, sure appreciate you coming because this is the neatest event, and I've gone to I believe every one. The first time I was there, I was just there to look and see what was going on, and then after that, I came with the Creation Ministry booth, and it's been great being there and so much going on there. So how did you're the founder, the director, right?
My husband and I are the founders or co-founders together, and I'm the executive director. That's correct.
Yes, and what was first year?
First year was 2012, July 14th, which ended up being the rainiest day in Prescott that year.
Wouldn't you know it? Wouldn't you know it?
Lord, bring on the rain and cleanse our event right on the courthouse plaza.
Now that you say that, I do remember that. Now that you say that, but it's been this is the 9th year now.
This will be the 9th year. If it would have been consecutive years during. You know, if we would have been able to meet last year, 2020, this would have actually been the 10th year consecutive. But we had to skip a year, so we're 9th.
All right, very good. Now tell us about your background and why this developed into the event that it is.
Background. I'm not going to bore you with the whole thing, but I will say that my husband and I, David, were ministry leaders over at Celebrate Recovery at the Heights Church. And Justin Unger, the worship pastor at the time, came to us and said, you know what, we've got a couple of guys coming from Nashville that do a recovery message. We can do another concert at the Heights. We've done many before. We can do them again. However, what if you take Celebrate Recovery down to the courthouse plaza for the man on the street that might never darken the door of a church?
Oh.
And then that was the challenge. And I'm the visionary, I'm the dreamer, but my realism kicked in, and I was thinking, oh gosh, it's got to cost a lot of money. And he goes, oh, that's $85. Well, we know from then to now that there's a lot more than $85 that goes into put on this event. Yeah. But it did take my my wall of apprehension down to think that, you know what, I think there's something we might be able to do. And so we put feelers out to different recovery groups and different ministries to come be a part of that. And it was basically going to be a worship time and sharing with our community and really pulling them together. And so actually that first year, John Baker and his son, the founders of Celebrate Recovery, came to the first Hope Fest, Arizona. He said that was such an amazing idea to bring Celebrate Recovery to the public, whereas before he'd done things on that scale for leaders, but to take it in such a boldly public way, he thought that was really amazing. So he was part of our first year.
Okay, so so this all started from the recovery group at Heights Church, and with Justin Unger giving you a challenge on this to take it to the square, and you picked it up and said, "Yeah, we can do that." And how did that first year happen? Where'd you get your funding from?
Well, that's the amazing thing too. We just started. Although I worked in media at Arizona Shine, I hadn't done a large-scale event before. I'd done things for our radio station and for some of our clients. So we just started organizing and taking it one bite at a time and one step at a time to put it together. And when we went to Lamb Chevrolet, which is an amazing auto dealership here in the Prescott area, and they were actually the first one to step across the line in the sand, if you will,
really?
And say, you know, we are boldly going to be a part of this outwardly faith-based managed event, and we're going to do it so with financial backing and our logo. When a business does that really truly means that they are on board.
Oh, yeah.
And so when that happened, then there was a ripple effect. Then other businesses said, you know, it was like you could hear a sigh around town. Okay. And then they stepped across, and we had other businesses join us, and many have been with us all 9 years, and others are still have been evaluating us all this time, and we have new partners coming on every single year. So it's just timing.
Okay. Now, I can't remember how big it was that first 2 or 3 years. You can refresh my memory, but it's a huge event. It encompasses the entire square. Many events on the square only takes one part of the square, but this event takes the entire square.
Yeah, this is a big baby. We take not only the courthouse plaza on the front side of Gurley, we take it on the back side for the family fun zone and the yard lawn games and things like that. But this year, well, for the past couple of years, we've had a car show, but this year we're taking over Montezuma, Goodwin, and Cortez.
Wow.
And
You're shutting the place down.
we've had the 3 Street, we've had Cortez and Goodwin many of the years. We've had Montezuma in 2018, but we're going to get it again this year.
Okay, now what are you going to do on the streets?
That's where the car and motorcycle show is going, and there's some amazing entries coming from all over this state.
So the car show is expanding.
Oh,
because before it was just on Montezuma.
It's getting known to be the place to be. Because there's really not another car show on the square except for the vet show, which is later in the month.
Right, and Louis is in charge of that, right?
Louis participated, but no. Steve Edwards actually.
Steve Edwards does that.
Yes,
okay.
He heads up the
Super.
car show.
All right, now, is any kind of car can come to this?
Any kind of car, but just go to our website under the car and bike show. It breaks it down into categories, even off-road, all the different names. I mean, I could pull it up for you if you wanted, but yeah, there's a bunch of different categories.
Okay,
there's
very
prizes, there's raffle prizes, there's T-shirts, there's all sorts of stuff going on, and then one of the reasons we're able to get the merchants to allow us to close the streets, because you have to have 75% okay from the merchants in order to be able to do that.
I was wondering that.
So what we've done is we're taking items from each store, and when a visitor to the show goes and makes a purchase at one of these shops, they show us their receipt and they get a ticket to a raffle. And so all these gifts for the merchants go in for a raffle. So it helps say thank you for them to letting us close the street. But also, we don't have food vendors, so that when people are hungry, there's plenty of restaurants right there.
Oh, okay.
And so we support them so that
okay, very good.
people go participate and eat at the restaurants locally. So we're supporting them.
Excellent. Well, that's how you can close down those streets then.
Be their friend.
And how has the city been? Have they been a friend to Hope
Oh,
Fest?
city's been a friend. They've been a friend in working this. They want to see events. They want to see people come downtown. Not only did we have COVID, interrupt everything, but the courthouse square is the place to go for fun and family stuff. So, and they've also supported us through their TAC grant, the tourism bed tax grant. For 6 or 7 years now, we've been able to apply and be granted a grant through there.
Good. I did hear by many sources that the city is quite paranoid about the grass being trampled there. So how do you deal with that?
Okay, well, first of all, back up. The county, the courthouse plaza is county property.
Right.
Okay, so the county is rather...
You're right, I should have said the county.
Rather apprehensive of and protective of their grass.
Yes.
And that's true. There is a whole rules and regulations. You got to sign off in order to be a participant at Hope Fest, including the big one that we can't seem to get big enough that people still don't read, which is no stakes in the ground. Yeah.
And if you foul their grass, they're coming after your firstborn.
Oh, and that's why we have volunteers going around helping the vendors to make sure that's not happening. And we're doing everything we can. We notify our vendors like 6 times before they ever get to the event.
That's right.
But still, some people don't read.
That's a big deal, that grass.
Yeah.
But, okay, so there's lots of different kinds of vendors. So tell us about the vendors that are there.
Well, we break up the courthouse plaza into different sectors. We have for a veteran and first responder area. We have a family support and recovery. We have a social behavioral health, and we have lawn games and things like that for kids to do. And we take over the back steps of the courthouse, and that's a great place for people to set for a child's dream entertainment or itty bitty pony party. It comes with their little ponies, whatever we got on. So we take up every inch of that courthouse plaza and use it to the best ability.
Yeah, you do. and even the streets.
Yeah.
And you had some things, you had like skateboard events or
Oh
something.
my gosh, that year was so cool.
Yeah.
That was the second or third year. Yeah, we closed off Union Street,
Mm-hmm.
so it could be a downhill slide for skateboarding. And we put up stacks of hay for a course because they came down off of Union and went down Cortez.
That's right.
And
That's right.
we had advanced and intermediate areas where they could enter. Advanced could go all the way to the top of Marina and start, and intermediate started at the garage, where the county garage is at.
Right. Now, wasn't that run by a Christian skateboard ministry?
Yeah, SG3.
Are they local or Cottonwood, or where are they from?
They
Where are
were local. They were local.
They were, okay. And don't exist anymore?
I don't know.
Okay, I haven't heard from them. Okay.
Right.
All right, so tell us a little bit about the history now from the first year in 2012 through this year. What's been the main attractions, the main thing that you want to say about some of those years?
The main attraction is our focus, which is the Hope Serves Family Resource Fair. Hope serves one another in love.
Okay. So now we're getting to why you're putting on this event.
Right.
Okay, why are you doing it?
Because we're serving our veterans, our first responders, their families, active military, and the most vulnerable of Yavapai County, with services, connections, and resources. We could always go to a health fair. We could always go to a health fair, but when we can go to the Courthouse Plaza and combine it with fun and talk about the tough things, talk about suicide prevention, talk about a senior adoption care, and maybe the opioid situation, or maybe the family violence centers there, having talked to a mom that was in domestic violence, and she didn't know anything about HOFES as she was stepping onto the Courthouse Plaza, found the family violence center. She walked away with a plan in place. She got lunch for her kids. They got haircuts, and
Yes. Are you still doing the free haircuts?
Oh, we're doing the free haircuts, but please, no, it's not for the whole community. It's
just for veterans.
It's for, wait, no,
No?
It's under our mission. Our first responders, our active military, their family, those people in need. So if you can afford a haircut, I'd much rather you either donate some time or donate that haircut money to HOFES to be able to do more resources and outreach.
Right. Okay. So this event really is for those people we just mentioned, the veterans, active military, first responders, and the families most vulnerable of Yavapai County.
Well, that is who we're serving. Now, as far as who comes there, the whole community comes there.
The community comes,
because maybe you don't fall into one of those categories, but you come and you find out where you can volunteer your time, where you can donate your money, what amazing new organizations you didn't know about that are going on in our community. It's called connectiveness. Everybody needs to be connected.
That's right. And you're doing a great job of connecting people with this event. Now, it happens to fall on 9/11 this year.
Yes, it does.
Tell us about that.
We take that very seriously and very humbly. Well, as 9/11 has impacted so many people's lives, I don't know anybody, especially an American, that it hasn't. It's also a call from our Lord, I would believe, the time is near. And we need to get things straight. And we also have seen the divisiveness going in our community, whether it be local, whether it be national. It just seems like everybody's kind of like a fever pitch right now. And so we use that as a call of love first. Not only pressing on, which is our theme this year, but love first. If we softened our tone and our talk with loving talk first, then some of the divisive and rhetoric kind of stuff kind of gets pushed down and away because it doesn't really serve us.
Yeah.
And it doesn't serve our families or our relationships that we have.
That's a great point.
And
Jaye
so
Lene.
9/11, we see it in that. We also know that, like I said, it's affected so many families, and there's so many kids, like my kids from their generation, that stepped up and served nationally in the armed forces because of what they saw happen that day. I know that's what my boys did.
Yes, good. And you had three boys?
I have 4 boys.
Four
I
boys.
have 3 that served. Kyle's my oldest. He was Navy and he was a cryptologist. And then he went Air Force. And now he's on the Avondale PD back home in Arizona after being gone for a long time. But then there was Travis and Brandon, which were my twins. And Travis was a Purple Heart Frontline Infantry Staff Sergeant. And then there was Brandon, who ended up being a staff sergeant as well, but he's more logistics, but both Army. And as you probably know some of our story, that we lost both of those boys within 18 months of self-inflicted causes of, which I relate directly back to 9/11. Because although I'm not a fortune teller, I know if 9/11 wouldn't have happened, life would have taken a different journey.
Sure. And
possibly, I know Travis would have always been Army. He was born. He was born Army from a very small. He would have been there, but who knows? Nobody can say. But we've seen movies and documentaries and things. If one event in history was changed, it didn't happen, how would that ripple effect in life? And so that's kind of going down a rabbit trail. But we want to honor our local first responders, our local veterans groups, our those people that serving and have served and have sacrificed. And we're going to do so on the Courthouse Plaza. We're still forming that ceremony. We invite organizations that are part of our community that have ideas to put this together. We're still forming it. And we want our community to come out because if you remember, 2019, we had 3 Congressional Medal of Honor recipient families here, including Desmond Doss, Jr. Of Hacksaw Ridge.
That's right.
And he was here. And so that was a pivotal opening ceremony, and that's kind of what we want to strive for every time.
What a good movie that was, too.
Oh, yes, yes.
And he was a great man of principle.
Oh, he definitely was, and he has a curriculum out about that too. But that's the 9/11.
So there will be a 9/11 remembrance ceremony that you're doing there, and the main stage will be in front of the steps of the courthouse steps on the Gurley side.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
And then will there be another stage on the other side?
There's going to be another stage in the middle of Goodwin Street, which will be
in the middle of Goodwin. Okay.
Over by. It's going to be part of the car motorcycle show. Yeah.
Okay, and will be live music going on there?
Maybe there'll be some music going on, but they're doing raffle drawings and they're going to be doing the awards and things like that there.
Okay, and Jaye Lene, what is it that the community can do to help you put on Hope Fest and support this event?
The biggest help that we can use from our community is asking them to step up. We're on a short time frame, we realize that, and it might be a crunch as far as schedules and as far as budgets, things like that, but we need people to volunteer their time. We need people with their talents to come forward. And if funding happens to be part of your gifting, we need you to give. This is fully funded and 100% volunteer managed. So we need help with you coming to the table with those to make this happen. And we so appreciate you and your prayerful consideration. And no one's getting paid in this organization. So every penny that you donate will go directly to this event. And, want you to, if you haven't been to this event, go onto the website. And what's the website, Jaye Lene? HopeFestAZ.com. HopeFestAZ.com. We'll put it up on the screen. So go and check it out there. They'll be able to contact you through their website. Okay? And then you can volunteer for the day or part of the day.
You can also donate to make this event happen. They're still needing substantial amount of money to make it happen. You can help. And if you can help, please do. Jaye Lene, this is such a worthy event. I just love going to it every year. There's so much Christian ministry that goes on there, and you can find out just about anything that you're interested in. You can even come to my booth and talk to me about creation science, okay? But there's 100 other booths out there that you can talk to all those folks about all kinds of different ministries that they're doing, and it's so neat. And I'm so glad you're doing it again, and keep doing that for our community. God bless you for the ministry that you're doing here, and I sure appreciate it, and I know so many others do too.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, and so thanks for coming, and we'll see you next week, I hope. God bless.